right. Well, hey, good morning, everybody. It is Friday morning, December the 11th, and happy Hanukkah. Today is the first day of Hanukkah because it began last night and continues. We're still the first day of Hanukkah, but this evening will be the second night of Hanukkah. And so I hope you've had a wonderful Hanukkah to this point. And let me say good morning to everybody. It is good morning to my mom. Good morning, Mama. Good morning to Kelly and to Wendy. And let's see, my eyes are really blurry this morning. Good morning to Sonia and Naum and to John and Jan. Love you guys. Good morning. And good morning to Sarah as well, by the way. Good morning to Jerry and Janet and Lori and Pat and Ron and Amy and Steve. And shalom to you, shalom Ruti, and shalom to you, Terry and Charlene in Texas. Good morning, Charlene. And let's see here. And oh, hey Pat, you've got. I see. Normally it's on. I thought it was on Lori's account, but hey, Pat, it's good to see that you're on this morning. And yes, this is not an ugly sweater. This is a dolphin sweater. Barbara Callahan, my daughter, bought this for me for last year. So she was like, "Dad, you got to wear my sweater." And the sweater I got you, and so I did this morning. And good morning to Kathleen and Cher and to Rashad and Menyan. Good morning to you guys as well. All right. Well, this morning let me look again real quick here. All right. Okay. Okay. So good. I see there was discussion of. So the way it works on the Hebrew calendar is holidays begin or the day begins at the evening. Based on the Genesis account, the evening and the morning were the first day. The evening and the morning were the second day. So, for instance, Shabbat begins at sundown on Friday and ends at sundown on Saturday. And in the same way, the holidays begin on the evening before. So this is the first day of Hanukkah, and it will, the second day, as it were, begins with sundown this evening, and that's when you would light the second candle. So I saw there was some discussion there about that. So just bringing clarity in case there was any confusion. This morning, we're going to be looking at Psalm 41. And the Psalms are broken into. There are 5 different books within the book of Psalms, 5 psalters within the whole of the psalter, and so. And there's not an even number in the way they're broken up, but the first book 1 is Psalm 1 to 41. Book 2 is Psalm 42 to 72. Book 3 of Psalms is Psalm 73 to 89, and then book 4 is Psalm 90 to 106, and book 5 is 107 and finishing. So this, as being Psalm 41, is the final chapter of the first book of the Psalms, and so what you have is you have this psalm opens up with the word Ashrei, blessed are happy, content, fortunate is the one. And so it's the same word that opens Psalm 1. And so it forms a bookend, and blessed is the one, or happy is the one. And that you're to go through this book and to pray it and to sing it, and this is a key to letting this be foundational in your walk with the Lord, will lead to a life of contentment, of blessedness, of true happiness. You know, one of the greatest things I'm thankful that my dad taught me, my parents taught me, but in going through the Psalms daily was to really have the Psalms as a regular part of my life, to have prayer and worship as a regular part of my day. Then the beauty in the Psalms is that they take us through the full range of the human experience and what it means to walk with the Lord, and to walk with the Lord through times of jubilation, and to walk with the Lord through times of the deepest darkness, and through times of sickness, and for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, forsaking all others till death do you part, kind of thing. It's this covenant with the Lord that you walk through the ups and the downs, and the lowest lows and the highest heights, and you learn to walk steady. You learn that through the roller coaster of it all, to keep your eyes focused on the Lord, and as to be able to express where you're at in the lowest lows, and to be able to express where you're at the highest highs, and that fullness of expression in real relationship with God. And so this psalm opens up with this. It's a psalm of David, and it says, Ashrei, blessed is the one who considers the wretched. Adonai will deliver him in the evil day. And so here where it says considers is the word maskil from the word sakal, which is, it refers to consider, to act with insight and devotion, but with practical understanding, with like insight that toward prosperity, toward success. That's kind of the idea there. So, and then the word for wretched is toward the dalal is the small, the unimportant, the insignificant. It doesn't, wretched, I don't know, it's blessed is the one who has an understanding of the prosperity, as it were, of the insignificant, of the nobodies. There's a sort of a hint of what you catch in Yeshua's Beatitudes, right? When he says, blessed are, when there's this counterintuitive, happy is the one who has an understanding of a consideration of the insignificant ones. There's kind of a double meaning here, a double entendre, as it were. And on one level, it's saying, blessed is the one who recognizes who has understanding of the prosperity of the insignificant, the lowly, because God is close to those who are broken in spirit. God is close to those who are humble. So you're blessed when you're in that condition, because that's when God is closest to you. When Yeshua in John chapter 13, and when he goes to wash his disciples' feet, it says he knew that he had all power had been given to him, that he had come from God and that he was going to God. And so he took off his outer garment. He got down and he washed their feet. As Yeshua, having all power from God, recognizing all the power that he had, the expression of godly power was in a place of humility. So he wasn't disguising the nature of God. He was revealing the nature of God. So blessed are you, happy are you, when you recognize the prosperity, as it were, have understanding to the success of the insignificant. And at the same time, the second half of that double meaning is, blessed are those who are considerate toward those who are less fortunate, toward those who are going through difficulty, toward those who are hurting, toward those who are nobodies. Blessed are those who consider the nobodies, who think about the nobodies. Because the Lord will deliver him. The Lord will get him to safety in the evil day, in the day of trouble. Verse 3, he continues, Adonai will protect him. And it actually uses the word shomer or shamar, to pay close attention, to watch over, to guard. The Lord will pay close attention, will guard him, protect him, and keep him alive. He will be made ashrei or yushar, blessed, fortunate in the land. You will not give him over to the desire of his foes. You will not give him over benefesh oivein. You will not give him over in the soul of his enemies. So to what's in the deepest desire of their being, to their desire to destroy him, the Lord will not give you over to that. The one who considers the insignificant. And what you have even in this, happy is the one, as you get to the end of the first book of the Psalms, Psalms 1 through 41. There have been a lot of lament psalms here. And what you have is a recognition of, blessed is the one who considers the insignificant, the poor, the ones who are lowly. And that understanding is rooted in this experience of having walked through lowliness, having walked through pain, of having walked through difficulties and sickness and suffering. And when you've gone through these lament psalms and you've gathered that level of understanding, you don't forget that. You let that build an understanding so that you have eyes to see. So that we're not supposed to simply be blind to others in the contentment of our own condition, but we're actually to consider others when they are in a place of difficulty. And when the Lord sees that in us, then what we know is He is a God who will rescue you in the day of trouble. Verse 4, it says, Adonai will strengthen him on his sick bed. It says he will sa'ad. It's an architectural word, actually, of supports. On his sick bed, when it feels like his body is falling apart, when his body is giving way, when what holds him together is crumbling, it is the Lord who will be the beams in him. It is the Lord who will be the support beams that keep him together. And then it continues, may you restore him completely from his bed, or from his weakness, from his chala, from his weakness, from his pain. May you, the word for restore is hafach, which is to transform. May you turn this around. May you completely transform him from his weakness, from this lowly place. So the one who is blessed, who considers the lowly, it is not as though it's some guarantee from facing sickness or pain or chaos, things you don't understand. And we talked about that a little bit yesterday. But here it says, the Lord will strengthen him or hold him together on his sick bed. So it doesn't mean that he won't have moments of, he's on his sick bed. And so now David recalls his own walking through this. Now he recalls how he's able to see this because he's come through it. He's come through the darkness. He's come through a time where everything was falling apart, where it looked bad. He said, I said, Adonai, have mercy on me, chaneni, which is, chaneni is to have favor. Lord, act from your character, your graciousness. Lord, be gracious toward me, show favor toward me. Rafa nafshi, heal my soul, heal the innermost part of me, heal my being, make me whole and complete. And there's a totality to that. Soul, we think of soul as simply having to do with our inner man, but it's there's the body and then there's the spirit, but the soul is the wholeness really of me. So heal me completely. Heal my soul, heal this person, body and inner man and my spirit. He says, for I have sinned against you, because I've sinned against you. And so what you see here is he's on his sick bed, and the first thing he does is he calls out to the Lord to heal him in the deepest part of his being, and he confesses his sin. Now, there's two different ways you can look at this. There, you had the people in Yeshua's time that said, who sinned to make this man blind? Is it because his mother sinned or his father sinned, or because he sinned? Why is he blind? Somebody must have sinned. And Yeshua said, no, that's not the case. So we can't simply say because someone is suffering or sick or going through difficulties that somehow they sinned. But we also can't simply throw off the idea when we're going through sickness or going through difficulty that the Lord is trying to get our attention about it. We can't simply say, well, it's definitely not because I sinned. Right? We have to go through a process where we say, search me, know me, Lord. You know the depth of my heart. And if there's anything within me that is not where it needs to be, lead me in the way everlasting. Right? There has to be a place where we, in humility, are willing to lay ourselves completely before the Lord and say, Lord, I'm calling, I need you to heal me, make me whole, starting with from the deepest part of me. starting with my rebellion, my inner selfishness, wanting to walk in my own ways. Lord, heal that which erodes me. My selfishness destroys my life. So even on that level, would you just heal that? But the psalmist, David, is dealing here with a physical ailment. Again, it's not always A plus B equals C. It's not always, that if you're sick, it's because you sinned and you have to repent, but it's not never, right? It's not always and it's not never. It's like, when you're growing up and you would take a true-false test, and one of the hints was if the question said always or never, the answer would be false, right? So regarding this, am I sick because of my sin? Not always, no. That's not always the case. It's also not never the case. It's not, okay, so you got it. He continues, verse 6. My enemies, oivai, those hostile to me. It says they speak evil about me, or they talk of trouble for me. He says, yomeru rali. They talk of trouble for me, and they think troubled thoughts about me. And so they're talking trouble about me, and here's what they're saying. They're saying, when will he die? Like they see he's sick, they're like, when's he going to die? When will his name perish? The perishing of one's name is a metaphor for a man dying without a son to carry on his name. They're saying, when's he going to die? And it'll be the end of him. It'll be the end of him and everything about him. When's he going to be done? They're talking about, in verse 7 he says, and if someone of them comes to see me, he's nice to me, right? They come to see me, he speaks falsely. Hey, worried about you. How's it going? But good grief, is the guy ever going to die? When's he going to be gone? When's he going to, oh yeah, and there's this duplicity in those. He's like, they come to see me, he speaks falsely. He stores up or collects evil in his heart, mischief in his heart. He doesn't have good thoughts, and there's this picture of collecting evil in his heart, of waiting for him to die to say, when are we going to get whatever he has? We need him out of the way. And then he goes out and chatters. He goes out to the streets and talks. So he comes in and says one thing to me, he goes out to them. Verse 8, all who hate me whisper together about me. And the word whisper is it's lachash, and it says to conjure by whispering. They're planning, and they're lachash about me in unity. Yachad. They're all together in a plan against me. They imagine, they calculate the worst about me. And here's what they say. Verse 9. They say something evil, and it's deber belial. So you've heard the word Belial when we think of the devil with Belial, when Yeshua talks about Belial. The Belial is from the word Bala, which is cessation or negation, worthlessness, something wasting away. It erodes. And so it's a thing of erosion, a thing of cessation, that which is eating away. So they're saying either a word, dever belial, or it can be a word of cessation, negation, of wasting away, or a thing. So what they're saying is something that is eating him away. He's on his sickbed. Something eating him away was poured out into him, was cast into him. He will not get up again from the place where he lies. And so there's this picture of where these are what they're saying about him. They're like, there's a cancer that's just finishing him off. He's going to erode and be eaten away. He's not going to get up from this. Verse 10, even my own close friend, whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted up his heel against me. And so the language here, it says, gam ish shlomi, even my man of peace. And shalom can be of good health and wholeness. Even my man of, so there's a double meaning here as well. It's my close friend, my man of shalom, my man of peace. But it also can be the man who was with me in my good health. When he ate my bread, when he could get something from me, when I was in good health, he was there. But now, when everything was going well, he was there, but now he's nowhere to be found. Even my own close friend, even my man of peace, my man of shalom, my man of good health, whom I trusted, whom I put confidence in, who ate my bread, he has lifted up his heel, and has become his heel. It has become great, lifted up against me, his heel, as in from the word Yaakov, a deception, a heel grabber, to pull me back. And so my trusted friend, my close friend, my man of peace, has lifted up, even him, the one I trusted, ate my bread, lifted up his heel against me. So he's recognized, so the psalmist in his sickness, it's not just a physical sickness, it's an isolation. It's feeling completely alone. It's feeling betrayed. It's recognizing that everyone's expecting him to waste away. Even those that he trusted are looking to get ahead at his expense. So he continues, but you, va'ata, and you, O Lord. It's an emphatic you. You, Adonai, have mercy on me. Chanein, be gracious to me. Be favorable to me. And raise me up. Stand me up. Lift me up from this sick bed. Bring me up from this place where I am wasting away. Lift me up so I may repay. So I may repay them. And so that uses ve'ashalma is connected to the word for shalom. Shalom is to make whole, make complete. So to bring restitution or compensation. So sometimes this is where God will pay, the whole idea of you'll reap what you sow. But there's a kind of a picture here where, he wants to be raised up, so that they'll see that they were wrong. He wants to be vindicated. But at another level, he is hinting in his own return to health that he would be the good friend to them that they have not proven to be for him. Blessed is the man, right? It opens up, blessed with the man who remembers, who considers the wretched, who considers the lowly, who considers the insignificant. So Lord, if you raise me up, then I want to be that man who considers those who have come against me, who are insignificant, who are lowly, who they may have been there for me, eating my bread. It's not a point of paying them back in necessarily a negative way, but to show them what a friend is to be, what a man of shalom is to be. By this, or by these things, I know that you delight in me. Verse 12. In these bazot, it says, in these I know that because it actually says, in these I know, and then it says, ki chafatza bi, because you desire me, or you delight in me, your will is in me. And then the second thing is, and ki lo yaria oivi alai, because they do not shout, my enemies do not shout in victory against me. This I know. These things I know. I know that you're for me. I know that you delight in me. I know that your will is for me. And the reason, and we'll see in just a second how he knows that. He says, I know that you are for me, and this I know. I know that the enemy will not triumph over me in victory, will not shout in triumph over me. Verse 13 says, you uphold me in my integrity. So it actually says, va'ani, and I, but to me, in my integrity, in my simplicity, in my completeness, tamatcha, you hold me. And I, in my integrity, am held by you, am upheld by you. it says, actually, it's not upheld. I'm sorry. It's you grasp me. You take hold of me. Tamach is to take hold, to grasp. So what I know is this, that, and I, in my integrity, and this integrity is not to refer to somehow his righteousness per se, but as an assertion of his innocence regarding a particular accusation. Lord, you know the depth of my heart. You know the intentions of my heart. And I, in my integrity, am snatched up, am grasped by you. Right? You uphold me, you pull me up in my integrity, and you make me stand firm. You set me, you natsav, you stand me before your face or in your presence. Lefanecha, forever. So this is a beautiful picture of the psalm. I know this. I know that I'm walking in your ways. I know you delight in me. These things I know. I know you delight in me. And I know that you won't let the enemy triumph and shout over me in triumph. Because, and I, in my integrity, in the simplicity, in the innocence of where I walk, I know that you're going to pull me up. You're going to grasp me up, and you'll stand me in your presence before your face forever. That from his sickbed, the Lord will pull him up, and he'll be before his face forever. Verse 14. It's kind of the closing verse, not only of this psalm then, but of book 1. All the different books, the final verse ends with a sort of doxology, with a praise. And so that's what we see here. We say, Baruch Adonai Elohei Yisrael, blessed be Adonai, the God of Israel. From everlasting, meha'olam va'ad ha'olam. From everlasting and until everlasting. From the ages and until the ages. Amen va'amen. Amen and amen. It is true. It is true. Truly it is true. It is true and true and true, and count on it, and reliable. Right? So that happy is the one who remembers, who considers, who recognizes, who keeps it, who considers the unfortunate, who considers those who are nobodies. Because when I was nobody, the Lord considered me and pulled me up and put me in his presence. And I want to be like him, right? So there's that picture painted for us. All right, well, let me say good morning to everybody that I may have missed. Let me back up here. It is an ugly sweater, I know. All right. Good morning to, Len and Joanne. Good morning, you guys. Good morning to Elizabeth and Jesse and Philip and Salome. And good morning, Lori. And let's see here. And we've got, I think that may be Sonia. Good morning, Sonia and Margarita. Good morning to you both as well. All right. I think that's everybody. Well, happy Hanukkah again. I hope you have a wonderful second evening of Hanukkah and that you have a great Shabbat. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shalom, shalom. Have a beautiful day. Shabbat shalom. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m.
I look up to the mountains. Does my strength come from the mountains? No. My strength comes from God, who made heaven and earth and the mountains. When confusion's my companion and despair holds me for ransom, I will feel no fear. I know that you are near.